Right at the beginning of the story, we are shown a message which meant that if you care for any object, show it love, then a soul will start to reside within it. But what about the thing that you consider trash and throw away? And then we are shown a little girl who was very emotional because her teddy bear was a little torn, which could have been easily fixed. But then her mother comes and tells her not to worry. We'll buy a new one. And the teddy bear that was so close to that girl until now becomes just trash. We are shown that all the trash of this entire city is collected in one place, and all this trash goes to a waste management facility. But then we are shown a mysterious guy who is standing on top of this very waste management facility. And then a message flashes that humans don't even think once before considering any object as trash. And it doesn't matter if that object is another human being. And then that mysterious guy suddenly jumps in front of the waste management facility, and with this begins Gachiakuta. Inside that facility, a guard hears some noise from a room. As soon as he peeks inside that room, he sees that same mysterious guy, and he immediately takes out his gun and says, "Stop right there. Only authorized personnel are allowed here." And as that mysterious guy turns towards the guard shouts and says, "You're that same trash raider who steals trash and destroys the beauty of this city." And saying this, he presses the emergency alarm, and two more guards arrive there. But before they could shoot, the guy suddenly throws trash bags at them and uses an exit funnel from there to escape and starts running. But unfortunately, he was surrounded by these soldiers from all sides, and then they open fire on this guy. But this guy somehow manages to dodge every single bullet. But in this process, a bullet hits his leg and he gets severely injured. But fortunately, he escapes through another funnel and ultimately comes out back into the town from a manhole. And we are shown that in his bag was that same teddy bear, which that little girl had considered trash and thrown away. And then we are shown that beautiful and wealthy town where everyone was very happy, and two girls there were talking about that same trash raider, and they were saying, what kind of person would he be to run away with trash? But then a man overhears them, and as the two girls' attention goes towards that man, the man starts to walk away from there. And then the two girls say, "They must be those tribe folks. Seeing them disgusts me. I think it's better to stay away from them." And then that man crosses a gate, which was in the middle of a giant wall. And on the other side of this giant wall was a very big slum area. And this very wall had distinguished this slum from this wealthy town. There was a lot of poverty in this slum, and the wealthy people called the people living here tribe folks. And after that, we are shown that even in this slum, people were talking about that same trash raider who ran away after stealing trash. And then we are shown that same trash raider, whose name was Rudo. And Rudo is the main character of our story. Rudo steals trash, and from it, he takes out whatever is useful and fixes them, and then sells them in his own slum. And then a girl comes in front of Rudo, whose name was Chiwa. And Chiwa knew that Rudo collects trash like this. And then Chiwa says, "Rudo, you know how strict the trash laws of our city are. Don't put your life in so much risk for no reason." Hearing this, Rudo says, "Look, my main problem is with the fact that the wealthy people treat a lot of useful things as trash and dispose of them. And on top of that, if I'm collecting those things and selling them, I'm also earning some money, so it's a pretty good deal for me." But anyways, then some boys come there who directly start bullying Rudo, and they say, "I've heard that someone stole trash again. Could it be you? Because you stink just like that." And then they say to Chiwa, "Chiwa, run away from here quickly, or else you too will start to stink like him. And on top of that, if you stay with this thief for too long, your reputation could also be at risk." And then one of them says that every family living in this slum has some kind of criminal history. "We are all working very hard to improve our image, but this thief will never let that happen. Look at his hands. The gloves on his hands are so dirty. He never even takes off his gloves. Chiwa, don't hang out with him. Your reputation will be completely ruined. And on top of that, his father was a killer, a murderer. And hearing this, Rudo gets very angry, and he suddenly looks at them, which shocks all those guys. But then one of them says, "Look at his eyes too. They are just like a criminal's. He will also become like his father, a killer." And saying this, they leave from there. But Rudo feels very bad about all this. But Chiwa doesn't fall for their words, and she doesn't leave there hating Rudo. Instead, she goes to Rudo and says, "They said a lot of awful things. Don't you worry, I trust you. You're not like your father. You were very good, and I believe that you will never harm anyone." And hearing this, Rudo starts to feel very shy. And then Chiwa looks at that doll and says, "This is so cute." And hearing this, Rudo says, "If you like it, you can keep it. Because anyway, I wasn't going to sell this doll." And hearing this, Chiwa also becomes very happy. But then Chiwa's mother arrives there, and Chiwa leaves with her mom. But from behind the wall, someone watches this whole scene unfold. And then Rudo goes back to his home, and inside the house, that same man was standing there. And then he says, "So, tell me, Rudo, how are things going with Chiwa?" And hearing this, Rudo gets very shocked and shouts out of embarrassment, "Recto, you saw all that? Please don't say all this, we're just good friends." And after hearing this, Recto says, "Look, you shared your emotions with her, right? If you haven't, then do it quickly." But Rudo says, "Please don't talk such nonsense." But anyways, then Recto says, "About the trash raid you did last night, to be honest, there's no necessity for it anymore. You can stop doing this. Don't put your life in so much risk for nothing. You might be thinking that you are not related to me by blood, and I'm just giving you advice, but to be honest, you are my family." And hearing this, Rudo says, "That's not it at all. My father abandoned me in my childhood, and then you were the one who raised me. You are more than family to me. And to be honest, I'm just doing this for you so that we can sustain ourselves properly." But then Recto sees the wound on Rudo's hand and says, "This happened during that raid, right?" And then Rudo tries to hide it, but Recto says, "Leave all that. Come, I'll bandage it. Take off your gloves." Recto bandages Rudo's wounds, and then we are shown Rudo's hand, which was completely burned. And Rudo tells that this condition was also caused by his father. And then Recto tells how Rudo's father was thrown into a pit. The pit is basically the place where criminals are thrown, just like how waste is disposed of by throwing it into a pit. Rudo explains how his wound was very painful. He used to cry because of the pain, and normal people always looked at Rudo with disgust because of this wound. And at that time, Recto was the one who gave him these gloves. And because of these gloves, his pain has reduced to a great extent. Besides Recto, there is no one in Rudo's life right now, and the bond between the two was very deep. Recto sees that same teddy bear in Rudo's bag and says, "You're going to give this to Chiwa, right? Then remember to give it to her tomorrow, and whatever emotions you have, share them with her with a smile." And then they start laughing a lot like that. But then we are shown a mysterious guy outside who was keeping an eye on them, and then we are shown the morning scene where Rudo was forcing himself to be able to laugh properly, but he gets scared by looking at his own face thinking, "Who would ever share their emotions with me?" But anyways, Rudo takes that teddy bear and goes to the highest point of the slum. And in front of him, he sees that same pit, where all the filth of the city is dumped, and even the criminals are dumped inside this pit. And once someone goes here, they can never come back. Rudo was getting very overwhelmed seeing all this. But then a voice comes from behind, and Chiwa also arrives there. Chiwa is very shocked to see Rudo there, but she was also very happy. Rudo gets very scared seeing Chiwa there, and he hides that teddy bear behind him. But then Chiwa looks towards that pit and says, "I think our slum has been built right on the edge so that these people can remind us that if you do anything wrong, you will also go here. You will go inside this pit. Whoever lives here has to watch this execution, whether they want to or not."
She turns to Rudo. "Listen, I know you hate seeing things go to waste, but this is too dangerous. If you're caught scavenging, they'll do the same to you. I can't bear the thought of them throwing you into that pit as well. So please, just stop." Recto says the same thing, Rudo admits. That's because he cares about you, Chiwa, replies gently. He likes you. Rudo freezes, stunned. He does? Does that mean you do too? Chiwa flinches. No, that's not what I meant. Don't misunderstand. But Rudo is completely mortified. He stumbles back in a wave of embarrassment, burying his face behind the teddy bear. You brought this teddy bear too? Chiwa asks softly. I just thought maybe you'd like it. I know it's from the dump, so I don't know if you'll want it, but I think it would be happier with you. He holds it out to her. Chiwa accepts the bear. It's beautiful, she says, her voice full of emotion. I'll treasure it forever. Rudo is overwhelmed, his mind reeling. He turns and bolts in a flush of embarrassment, yelling over his shoulder, I have to go tell Recto. As he's running, he collides with someone. It's the guards. Shaking it off, he continues sprinting toward his house. He throws open the gate, calling out, Recto, I'm back! Then he stops dead. In front of him is the same mysterious man who had been spying on them. The man is crouched over Recto's body. He's already dead. Rudo is paralyzed with shock. Snapping out of it, he lunges at the intruder, but the man strikes him with blinding speed. Blood erupts from Rudo's nose as pain explodes through his head. Dazed, he watches the man pick up a book and turn to leave. Rudo gasps for him to stop, but he's already gone. Then a faint, weak voice calls his name, Rudo. Rudo scrambles to Recto's side, flooded with relief. He's alive. Run, Rudo, he rasps. Get out of here. You have to be the one to change this corrupt world. Run, before they think... His words are cut short as a taser fires from behind, and Rudo's world dissolves into pain as he collapses. It's the guards. They seize him. Caught you red-handed, one of them sneers. I didn't kill anyone. It was someone else. He got away. Ask him. Ask Recto. But when Rudo looks back, Recto is lifeless. The guards drag him away. Rudo insists he's innocent, that he was trying to help, but no one listens. Once again, the news spreads like poison through the slums. Rudo, like his father before him, is a murderer. The rumor even reaches Chiwa. We see Rudo dragged before the pit, sentenced to death. I didn't do this. I didn't do it. Please, someone believe me, he thinks frantically. He scans the jeering crowd. Throw him in the pit! Throw him in the pit! They chant. Rudo's hope drains away, but then he spots Chiwa. Chiwa! He screams. I didn't do it! Someone else did it! You have to find him! Chiwa stares back, her face cold. I believed in you, but in the end, you're just a murderer's son. She lets the teddy bear fall from her hands, turns her back, and walks away. Rudo's world shatters. He knows it's over. As the command is given, just before he falls, he locks eyes with the true killer standing silently in the crowd. Then, the chain is released, and Rudo plummets into the abyss of trash. I'll send you all to hell! You're the real trash! All of you! His vision fades to black as he is swallowed by the pit. But then, Rudo's eyes snap open. He's shocked to find himself still conscious. Looking around, he sees he's lying in the center of a colossal mountain of garbage. He can't comprehend it. A sound makes him turn. Looming over him is a giant, grotesque monster. I suppose, Rudo mutters, a grim acceptance dawning on his face. This is what they call hell.